Hey y'all, welcome back. Episode 23, not 32. Wow, I can't read today. Episode 23 of season 3 Manning Music Podcast. Tonight, we have a plethora of individuals to join us to talk about the NBA Finals. So tonight we have Morgan and Jess, once he is done putting the kids to bed, maybe, joining us. Of course, you got Kevin. He's always going to be here. We got our main man Ronald down there in Florida enjoying hopefully not super humid weather yet at this point. And then everyone's favorite Duke Blue Devil, Cyrus. So tonight's idea, we're going to talk about the NBA Finals, give our thoughts, our feelings. You know, some of us are Mavs fans here, some of us are Celtics fans. But we're going to have a good conversation. We're going to get off right before the finals start and just go enjoy it. So these are our takes. You'll get it after probably on Saturday when this episode actually gets released, with Andrew doing everything. But everyone say hi. Morgan, you start off and we'll go from there.
Hello. I'm really excited to get these finals underway. I think it's going to be really exciting.
Ronald, welcome back. It's been a long time, buddy.
I know. I enjoy it. Life is hard. Adulting is hard. So I'm trying to hang with it there. I will say I'll never trade in this feeling of being in the finals, but somewhat disappointing that I can't just watch this series as a basketball fan without any emotional investment, because I'm expecting this to be just a beautiful game of chess here on the court. So it's going to be great. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I am done with the week of waiting.
Yeah, same here. We had like 10 days, so it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, man, that does not need any introduction, Cyrus. We'll just skip over you. You've been on too much lately. Everyone knows you. And then
I'm okay with that.
Everyone's favorite co-host with me, Mr. Kevin Cueva.
Yes. I'm Switzerland today. I'm rocking. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed in how this shirt came out. I'm not gonna lie. This was a little bit of a drunk purchase that I had after having a lot of tequila. This is Nika Mule from the Seattle Storm, and this is the shirt she wore in her debut game of the season when she let everybody know that her visa was approved. And I saw it on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, this looks like fun. Click here, click there. All of a sudden, this shirt was bought. Got it the other day, and you can't even like see her. I'm like, what the hell? This was like $28 down the drain, and not gonna lie, a little disappointed in that. But yeah, I just wanted to really share this shirt because I got it yesterday, and I need to let everybody know how disappointing I was. So if anybody can find me one where you can actually see her, please send a link over, and I could purchase the right one.
I love that, Kevin. You would be the only person that would rock that shirt ever.
Oh. Hell yeah. What we got today, Merritt? Let's see.
I've got my Bill Russell jersey on, repping, the one of the best to ever play it. So
you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, let's say that. Just you're welcome.
Thank you. This is all Kevin's find. Ronald, who you got on? Yeah,
Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Jalen.
I like it.
I actually don't bust this one out too often, so again, banner edition, it feels appropriate.
Okay, I like it.
And also on a side note, I do have a Boston Kyrie jersey that I got for $20 at Ross shortly after his departure. So that was a real random gem that I like that I'm going to bust out at some point this series.
No. You do not. You are not allowed to wear that jersey during the series.
I would appreciate that as a New Jerseyan.
Yep. Full support of that one.
Yes.
Morgan.
So thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate that. I'm not the only one that feels that way. Thank you.
The rules are already thrown out the window.
Go ahead, Ronald. You're saying.
I was saying this is something I want to get into later, just the perception of Kyrie, because again, I'm not from Boston. I'm not in Boston. And I feel like my sentiments are just different from that of someone up there in the Northeast here. And so I just want to touch on that later on at some point when appropriate, because I just want to hear from Merritt.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. Well, let's jump in the weekly sports update real quick. Only a couple things this week, because we really want to talk about NBA Finals. Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. Holy crap, this girl is getting the shit kicked out of her. And
Get your weight up.
dude, I feel bad though. The one against the Sky, that was brutal and uncalled for at that point. You know, it's just a bad
Hold
look.
on. I will say, so when I first initially saw the hit, I was like, oh damn, that sucked. But after like the media kept playing it over and over and over and over and over again, the hit didn't look as bad. Cheap shot, yes, but it wasn't as like rugged as like initially thought from first seeing it. Um, I think with Caitlin Clark, I think it's just a big whole spectacle to make something out of nothing. And I think it's a lot of people have been talking about this and that or the other, and like, oh, people don't like Caitlin Clark or this, or they're just trying to like toughen her up. But like at the same time, when I looked at it from like a bigger perspective, I think the media has just kind of taken this and is trying to turn it into a narrative to have us think one thing. And I think the important thing is that they need to let them play, and they need to start talking about things that like matter. Like, yes, Caitlin Clark, she is, top scoring rookie of the last month. Yes, let's talk about that. But how come we're not talking about how the Connecticut Sun are completely undefeated? How about we're talking about Asia Wilson absolutely crushing it
Mhm.
for the Aces right now, and her putting up double doubles out the wazoo. So I think the narrative with like Caitlin Clark is like, yes, everyone is like seeing her and watching her, but they also are like, they need to like kind of focus on the league a little bit more. If
Angel,
anybody kind of catches my drift. Yeah.
Angel said it the right way. It's not just one person, it's everybody. Basically, that people need to pay attention to.
I agree.
But that hit was uncalled for. I will say that. That was just
It was uncalled for. But if you look at the context of it, right? Look at the context of it leading up to that. That's been in the WNBA and even in the NBA for as long as we've
Years.
had it. Rookie,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah. That's been and if you're a rookie, that's why as a rookie they tell you not to talk too much, because like you get tagged, especially if you're somebody that is as of interest. And Caitlin Clark is as of interest, right? She's she is bar none the star on the marquee every time she walks into an arena. So you're getting all the attention, you're getting all the smoke, and you're going to get hit. So you're going to keep talking. That's what's going to happen. That's unfortunate, though. It was a bad hit, but it is unfortunate, though. That's in that situation.
yeah. Well, then, Kevin, you can be happy. You potentially may have a new coach up there in LA. With your second favorite team with the Lakers with Dan Hurley. But apparently they're still
Unless you're upset
negotiations.
that you're not getting JJ Redick.
Like I don't have a problem with it if they give it to Dan Hurley, because let's just be real for a second. He's won 2 national championships with UConn. He took UConn from the bottom of the barrel to national prominence again. What more else does he really need to do on the collegiate level? I mean, I think the next step would be to try at the NBA, and then why not, go with like one of the biggest teams and biggest markets they have. Fun fact, I just found this out. Today is also the 20th year anniversary of the Lakers trying to go after Coach K from Duke after the Lakers lost to the Pistons in 04. So like today is literally the day they start trying to throw the kitchen sink at Coach K to leave college. And well, Cyrus, we all know how that went. And Lakers get Rudy Tomjanovich instead, and he retired after like a year, and then the Lakers go down the barrel and Kobe changes his number, and then the world is sane again. But yeah, that's what I got on Dan Hurley. I don't know if anybody else had any thoughts on that, but that's what we got.
Hey, I think I don't know. I say college coach stay in college because we haven't seen many college coaches excel in the professional sports arena yet. Now it
So you
doesn't mean
would
that
say Brad Stevens was not a successful coach for your Celtics?
I say he was, but in the grand scheme of it all, like looking at a full spectrum of individuals, there hasn't been a lot of greatness out of it all. I think Brad Stevens is better as an executive than a head coach. I think he's better at that role. But I think if Dan Hurley goes to the NBA, you don't go somewhere else like LA because it's just such a big market. Your name, you're going to be expected to win the moment you walk in that door, which an expectation for a college coach to go to the NBA, totally different basketball. We all know that. I think it's just be difficult, but if they take him, he's a damn good coach. So it'd be
He
interesting.
is a
to
good
see.
coach. I think he'd help out with the development of the young guys like Rui and Austin Reeves and Max Christie. I
No,
think
they need to
he
get rid
would-
of Austin Reeves. He's a bum.
Well, if they can't get rid of them, we gotta freaking develop them somehow. I think Dan Hurley would help in that regards. And then, hopefully we'll see if he does come, what kind of staff he gets. Like maybe taking Sam Cassell from the Celtics, because I mean, top assistant coach out there who maybe should get a coaching job, just saying. But I digress. That's another conversation.
Kevin, I want to tell you this. Sam Cassell is now going to be the head assistant coach with the head assistant coach for the Celtics now leaving to go to Charlotte. Sam Cassell is going to take that role. He ain't leaving Boston if they win. He's in a good seat there.
Hey, sometimes money talks though. Unless you're gonna throw the kitchen sink for him, I don't know.
That's true. I'll give you that. Last thing that I just threw on there because it's hysterical. I forgot that Utah is getting a hockey team. They've narrowed it down to 6 names: Yeti, Blizzard, Mammoth, Outlaws, Venom, and the Utah Hockey Club.
Well, we already know the Utah Hockey Club has got to be out because we don't have any of those in NHL. So don't even give me that one. That's
It
a
made it
lack
top
of
6.
creativity. That's a lack of creativity.
It's Utah. What do you
No.
expect?
Well-
Definitely take out the Outlaws. That just sounds like a generic name that I would create in Madden or something. Like,
It's
Ronald, the Utah Outlaws. Yeah. That really fits. Yeah, the Utah, they're outlaws.
How about Venom?
I'm not gonna lie. I would take the Utah Mammoth, or I would take Yeti, but not. They can't say Yeti. They have to say Yeti instead. I think it would sound cooler.
What?
Cyrus knows what I'm getting
What?
at that.
I-
Yes.
I know why you
Yeti.
say.
Yes.
What?
That's
I know
what me
why
and
you
Cyrus
say.
things. You'll understand,
I
but
know.
that's the only reason if that name ever gets through. Because how are you gonna have Yeti and then you're not gonna get sponsored by Yeti? Like, there's too many like copyrights that go on through it out there.
Well, I
That's
mean, if you really think about it, Utah wouldn't change the uniforms back to them rock that little purple mountain rocky look or whatever it was. It was just on ESPN. They wouldn't change their uniforms again back to that purple stuff,
Mhm.
that with the mountains and stuff. I mean, okay, try to work something in with the basketball team, for God's sakes. I mean, they're the only thing that's really winning in that town, so work with them.
I would go with
Yeah,
I go
true.
with the Blizzard or the Yeti. I think
Yeah,
those are the
there you go.
two top choices.
I would say the Blizzard.
The Blizzard's kinda
Blizzard is
cool.
good.
But Blizzard is kind
Yeah.
of cool.
Like it makes sense.
my
Outlaws,
issue
Venom,
with
and
Blizzard
hockey.
is
Morgan, would you go
Pretty-
see the
it's not too
Utah
far.
Blizzard or somebody give you free tickets?
No, because then your mascot's a snowflake. Like,
It could be a Yeti. They could make the mascot a Yeti for whatever reason. It's like the Pelicans have that weird, creepy baby as one of their mascots in the NBA.
Yeah, yeah.
then just be the Utah Yeti. That sounds way more intimidating than the Utah Blizzard. That like it's not like it's just not known for. I mean, I guess you
I think of
snow
the
in Utah,
Dairy
but
Queen
it's not what I
drink.
think of.
You think of Dairy Queen, Kevin?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you never heard of the Blizzard?
Blizzards.
That makes
No.
sense.
Ronald,
See,
you
I
were
would say
saying
that it's a little too close to Colorado Avalanche for my liking.
Mm,
I'm personally a fan of mammoths.
Thank
I
you.
think you can do a lot with that.
You can do a fun mascot. That's a cool man. You can do a huge mammoth, and then like a baby mammoth, and they can like battle it out or whatever.
Also, who wants to mess with the mammoth? Like that's for I don't
true.
want to deal.
That's
I
I'm
would've-
just saying, Blizzard. Like I love Morgan's point with the snowflakes. Not
That is great.
I'm
It'd
just
be a
fucking-
snowflake. All right, I'm going to be a toss up now between Mammoth and Yeti. Either one of those I'm good with, as long as they make a cool jersey.
And they also need to make a cool logo. Like, these names are great, but you gotta give us a cool logo with some cool like jersey colors to go with it. Because if you like shit the bed with that, names don't really even matter at that point.
That's true.
You know who
It-
can tell you about poor name choice? It's the Washington Commanders or Washington football team or whatever.
Yeah,
they
state,
fucking
yeah,
call
state.
it.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a rumor that they want to revert back to the old name or something close to it, which would be amazing.
I'm low key
Well,
rooting
what
for
the-
it.
Wait,
Isn't that because what's the name is the owner? The dude from the guy that owns is it Fanatics? Does he own Fanatics?
no, the
The
guy
guy
that
that
just bought the team.
does the Sixers.
Sixers is Fanatics. Magic Johnson's part of the ownership of the Commanders right now.
The
No, but the
Sixers
guy
also like the guy, same guy, the guy who owns the Sixers. He has an ownership in the Washington Commanders
Yeah.
as well.
Does he?
He's part of that deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
yeah,
I'm glad. I'm blanking on his name, but he's a part of that group.
yeah.
Not just
Well-
Magic.
Well, I would love it because it's the iconic name of what they were. I'm not going to say it because everyone that listens could potentially be upset or offended by it. So I'm not going to say the name, but come on. I say go back to it. But let's move on real quick. We got West Virginia updates before we talk about basketball. Baseball. We have now become a baseball school, guys. Like, we have moved on to the super regionals. We're playing UNC tomorrow night, Saturday night, and potentially Sunday. So this is the first we've ever gone. This is amazing. Even if we lose, I'm pumped. I'm happy we made it this far. So yay.
So I had no idea that there was a regional and then a super regional.
That doesn't make
Was
sense.
it just occurred to me. I had no idea like that was like a thing for the baseball. I thought it was just like one tournament. Like, why you gotta make it so damn complicated? But
I don't know.
I'm
I said
excited.
the same thing. I said the same thing a couple weeks ago. Remember we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I said the same thing. Like they're probably going to make it some convoluted thing. You got to go here and go here and go there and go here. I'm like, okay, it's just yeah.
But it's amazing to just see how far we have come when it came to all of that. Like, I don't know if you remember, Morgan, you remember back when we were at school and the sorry excuse that we had to call a baseball team when we were there to
And
now
stadium.
what we are now. Yeah.
we didn't even have locker rooms attached to our stadium. Like, it was embarrassing. We had to
Yeah.
literally build a whole new stadium when we went to the Big 12, just for that simple fact of how embarrassing not only our stadium was, but the team and our coach at that time.
Yeah.
So where did they
there was a
address
time when
that?
we were- What?
Where'd they address that?
In the Coliseum.
Yeah, they dressed in the Coliseum and then they would walk out to the field like it was like high school baseball.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was not a good look at all.
I'm sorry, Morgan. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just didn't know that it was that bad. I'm sorry. Or you can finish. Sorry.
Yeah. Madness.
And-
Absolute.
That right before I joined, I saw great news for our former interim head coach and top assistant coach, Josh Eilert. He has taken a role as an assistant coach for the Utah Utes out in Utah. Congratulations. Happy to have you stay in the Big 12. And we hope we beat you. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm very excited for it. I'm happy that he got a job. Like, this man was well deserving of an head assistant coaching job, whatever, for the crap he had to deal with last year. So
Yeah, he got dealt a super bad hand, and it's good to see him get back on his feet. I know Jordan McCabe, he accepted assistant head coach job for like the University of Green Bay. I hope like Deshaun and DeMar Johnson are able to go somewhere. And especially Jay Kuntz, all the stuff that he did for recruiting. I hope
I
somebody
heard-
picks him up because did you hear something on him?
he said the last thing I saw, he posted saying that he was going to have an announcement in like the next month or so, and that was a couple weeks back. So maybe he has something. I don't know.
We shall see.
But that's the hardest part is like we know some of these guys that went to school with them and now they're moving on to a different program. They've been there the whole time, which is crazy. So
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the whole like universe is like changed over there. It's like a different time.
yeah,
Well, is
still not
anything else changes? Change is always good sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Get something, get to learn
Yeah,
something new. So
for sure.
Yep.
All right, Merritt, what do we got next? Because we had like a long bout of silence there, and that's gonna be awkward when I listen to this.
Perfect. That's awesome. I'm happy that there's long bouts of silence, Kevin. Um, now we want to talk about the NBA Finals. Let's go. I never said, yeah, I said we weren't going to talk about the Knicks. I didn't mean say we were going to say any other shit. But let's dive into it. My first take is Porzingis is back. I'm ecstatic. He is going to play game one. This just, no offense, Morgan. I think this gives us a little bit more extra boost to get over those Mavericks. But free for all, everyone just add in. Go.
Can we just I want to go back to that clip there where they asked him about his health here, and they asked, "Are you running 100% pain free?" The answer was yes to that, which is amazing. You love to hear that, unless you have the context to it, where there was a long, solid 7 seconds of silence before he just like,
Yeah.
yeah. And so that full context wasn't the most sure thing. I don't know what that was about. He's playing game one. We're gonna see his health there. But I just wanted to comment on that because it wasn't the most reassuring thing to hear from him. But he's in. I think he's good to go. My big thing that I want to see immediately, we'll keep that thought away. I want to know how the bigs for Dallas defends. I want to see how they hold up. I want to see the rotation kid comes up with that.
I want
That's
to
my
hear what
big
you were going to
question.
say before you said, I'm going to hold off on that. What were you going to say?
Nah, I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna keep it to myself for right now.
He's containing it.
So for me, I think my things is I love the storylines that we have going into this. You have Kyrie coming back to Boston for the first time since the Sage era. You have Porzingis, you know, going up against Dallas for the first time when everybody had this great dream of like the best, Euro guys together on one team, and it just didn't happen to work out. And they all openly admit that, like, the two of them just were not suited to play together. And it showed Porzingis, he's a hell of a lot better of being a number 3 than being a number 2 guy. And Luka needs a good number 2 to be aside from him. And I think we're starting to see that um like Kyrie is starting to become a really good partner for him. The two of them are pretty much unstoppable together. I know Luka's on his bad knee, but the fact that he's still calling people, bitches and pussies, even with one leg, is still absolutely incredible. Um, I think, what I'm curious to see in this series is how they're going to be able to defend and stop the fire, because these two teams, like, I feel like we're averaging roughly like 120 and 125 for each team being scored in this series. I just want to know, is this going to slow down? Is this going to pace going to continue? But yeah, this is going to be fun. And honestly, I love the coaching challenge. Doug V guy and Joe Mazzulla, Jason Kidd, my favorite player of all time, and then also as the Mavericks, last time they went to the finals, Jason Kidd was going to the finals and he got his ring. So I just love the story and I can't wait to see how it plays out. So Morgan or Cyrus, you guys, go ahead, one of you.
Thank
Ladies
you.
first.
I was waiting for your long-winded answer to, like, that was rule number 1. Just saying.
Hey,
Rule number 1.
I'm still on contract right now. We're still making good on time.
Oh, that was fantastic.
You're making good on time because your team is not getting ready to play. That's what it is. So
Dang. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stop that right there. And I'm out.
All right, Kevin. All right.
Wow, I thought I had to tell Cyrus to I told Cyrus not to say
That was a
anything.
drive-by.
I didn't think Morgan was going to go after him. Oh my
Ronald,
God.
I'm
Fired.
thinking that Dallas's bigs, it's gonna be a good matchup. I think Lively and Gafford really complement each other. And so I've been very excited watching the two of them play. Um, we saw just how much of an impact Lively has with that team when he was out with his not concussion, because that we can't call it a concussion because he was back too soon for a concussion. But that's still big question mark there. But I'm really excited in general for this matchup. Like you guys had all said, I think it's just going to be really fun to watch both of those teams come together. And it should, you never hope to sweat out to a game 7, but I kind of want a game 7 matchup here just so we get extra basketball to watch.
Hey, Jess.
I've got chills.
Yeah, Jess.
I'm pumped.
And
Hey guys.
Hey,
is that Owen?
look at that guy.
Hi, bud.
He's like, who are all these people? Oh my God.
Let me also state
Yeah.
that Owen is my sports good luck charm of the year. Since Owen's arrival, my favorite sports teams have just been absolutely amazing. We got,
Yeah.
the Browns
Right.
made it past the first round of the playoffs. Let's go. You have Mavericks obviously playing in the NBA Finals. Me being I'm going to say the Cleveland Indians because I refuse to call them the Guardians. The Cleveland Indians are just on fire right now as well. So Owen, it's all Owen.
Hey,
He's
Morgan,
he's the good omen.
since I put this as my background with my son, the Celtics have not lost. So
Dang.
I'll change my background to me and Owen. So maybe that's
shoot, I gave her the secret. Not good.
Fun fact, I have a nephew named Owen, so you're a good guy. Owen, you're right there. My take would be, I think I'm along the lines with I wanted to see the coaching matchup because I think team wise, I think they're pretty much equally matched. I think the coaches is where it's going to make a difference at. Like who's going to draw up a play to get this guy open, to get that guy going. That's what I'm looking to see. Because that's where it's really at this point. I mean, everything else is evenly matched. The only difference I would say is Dallas's role players, if they don't come to show, it's going to be a smoke show for Dallas. The unfortunate part.
Well, it
But
could be either way too, because Hauser hasn't shown up. Cornette got hurt.
Right.
So either way.
but the only right, yeah. No, I was going to say, and we said it the other day, with Tatum and Brown in that starting lineup, they're averaging 100 points. So if that bench doesn't come up, you're okay. You may have to fight it out a little bit towards the end, but you'll be okay. Dallas, they can't play with, they don't have that ability to do that.
Sure. I will agree with Morgan though. The bigs that Dallas have with Ivy and Gafford are some unreal guys to watch, because for bigs, typically you get in foul trouble real quick. They don't foul. And it's great to watch. I think they'll have their hands full with Porzingis and Horford, if that's a lineup that they play at all, or where they have the two bigs out there and they go at each other. Because let's be honest, they had a Rudy Gobert in the last round, and we know he doesn't do anything offensively besides a really ugly hook shot. And then they had Karl Anthony Towns, who really, for the most part, decided he wanted to shoot jumpers instead of be a big man. So it will be interesting on that end. Ronald, I want to hear your question about Kyrie, because I think everyone can have a perspective on it from the Maverick side to a Celtic side. So
yeah, and
floor is
so
yours.
ultimately, we know the storyline with Kyrie, Boston, the heartbreak there, and so I just know there's a lot of hostility. So I want to hear from you specifically, Merritt, your specific feelings on Kyrie right now at this moment. Hell, even if he wasn't in the finals. And so I just need to hear from someone else.
So as a Celtics fan, when he left, I was pissed. Kevin can attest to it. We went to a game almost
Oh,
a year and a half
It's all on
ago,
recording. Oh my goodness.
and I'm booing him.
The vociferous booing coming from our section, strictly coming for our row that he could probably hear all the way through downtown Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's how mad Merritt was.
But at this point, I honestly don't care. You know, he's playing great basketball for half the game. In my mind, he plays great in the first half or great in the second half, and typically plays with 4 to 5 fouls every game. He's playing great, but I don't care. I have no animosity towards this individual. He's did whatever he did. To me, he's still an asshole. He's still a piece of shit. But that's my personal opinion on it.
No,
No
no
animosity. But he's still
We good. He's my bestie.
Yeah.
Forget, bro.
I'll say it behind your back. I don't care what he does during the series. He's going to play the way he plays. He's honestly probably the best ball handler that NBA has ever seen. And some of the shots he makes is unreal. I still don't care for him, but I'm not going to be, if I was at a game, I'm not going to be like some of those Celtics fans that are just booing and screaming every time he gets it. I'm going to be there to watch this great game. In my mind, I'm at that point of, this is just going to be a great series. If we win, I'm going to be ecstatic. If the Mavs win, I'll be a little sad and upset, but I like the Mavs. I like the Mavericks when they beat the Heat a few years ago. I bought the championship hat. I love Dirk. I like Luka. Kid is great. So at the end of the day, it's going to be, that's kind of what I'm looking at. So that's my perspective. So yeah.
Jess, what do you got? Jess, what do you got? Your thoughts on the finals?
Well, I'm just enjoying watching my wife argue with someone else about sports besides me. So this is
Jess is like, I want the popcorn. I just need to sit here, relax.
no. I thought there was. I told Morgan before the Thunder series, it was like, there's no way that if they get past this series, there's no way they make it through next, and they keep on going. I thought they did not have enough juice to, like, Luka's injuries and that kind of a thing. I just thought there was no way he could carry them all the way to this point. And obviously he and Kyrie have done it together. But I mean, like I said before the Thunder series, I did not see a way they could pull it off. But then there's this little glimmer of like, well, maybe the Thunder are too young. Like maybe the Celtics, hit a struggle point in this series and the Mavs shock some people. I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch and very interesting to see. Like, there are some really cool storylines you guys have talked about, but Luka's one of those players that just, like, he makes no sense at all that he can do what he does. Like, he is slow motion and kind of a sloppy body, and just like, you cannot stop him. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that.
I also want to point out, I love that Jess is outside and Morgan is inside, so that they don't start yelling at each other during this podcast.
Yeah. I basically won the NBA Finals as a dad tonight, putting all the kids down by myself. So that's
yes, you did.
I'm not risking it. I'm getting outside.
Look who finally is showing up to the party.
Oh my God! With like
Seriously,
5
dude, what in the world?
Good God!
Come on, man.
Oh my God! We're gonna have a touch base.
Sir, what is your excuse for being 45 minutes late?
I was making a burger for dinner. I worked this morning and I went to Five Below with my girlfriend.
I love it. Did you get anything? Did you get anything from Five
Below?
I mean,
I got candy. Oh, it's out in the car still. It's in my bag. I got one of them big ass bags of the watermelon Sour Patch Kids.
Oh my God.
And apparently,
you might want to take that out of your car. It's hot out.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to my friend's house to watch the game later.
Oh,
yeah, but you gotta take it out the car so it doesn't melt, man.
I'm dying.
It's dark here.
Yo, I'm dying.
What jersey are you wearing?
I'm wearing Jaylen Brown, the green one. I got the black one in the car in the backpack.
Oh my gosh!
With the candy.
I didn't get to do this earlier, but this is a Dallas Mavericks shirt straight from American Airlines Arena.
There
Just
you
so you know.
go.
So
There-
from the internet, straight from the
Oh.
arena
I
gift
like
shop
that.
itself.
Hey Kev,
So-
she got you beat. Kev, she got you beat on the apparel.
All
What?
right.
Now
Well,
what?
I'm sorry. I got that. I'll book my trip to Dallas and get away out here for Dallas at some point. I swear.
You
I
already
need to
did
take
one.
a picture by.
In
What?
Dallas?
Oh no, you did.
I
You went
never-
down to Dallas for something else.
I
Sorry.
just went down to Dallas. I never went to like a Dallas Mavericks game, but I need to see
Well-
that Dirkster.
Well, yeah, Kev, we'll go. I want to see the statue. That came after my trip to Dallas. So
All right, we'll coordinate. We'll make it we'll make it
all
happen.
right.
I'm still hung up on Andrew taking 45 minutes to make a burger.
I was at Five Below. I thought we were recording at 7:30. I got home and was like, I have
God.
the perfect amount of time to make a burger for dinner.
You know
Hold
what?
on.
I don't feel
Hold
bad
on, I
anymore.
wanna-
I can't feel bad. I can't feel bad. I did the same thing. I can't feel bad. I feel bad. I can't.
Hold
I
on.
did the same thing.
Sometimes it happens. I've been
I
known
wanna-
to join the podcast a good 40 minutes late before.
I just want to point out I did send a text today,
You did.
earlier this morning saying,
Yep.
so we can for tonight. Can we have everyone join like 5 minutes before we record so we can so we can go through the idea and can hit the ground running at 7. Where'd you get 7?
I don't know, man. I'm working like 45 hours a week right now. Right? I've been
He's-
all over the place.
He's trying. You know,
Yeah,
he's,
you know what? He's trying.
I've had the script up all day on the PC. So
There you
I
go.
was aware I was a part of this. This was not a I forgot.
Okay,
sort of
well,
situation.
let's get your perspective as the other Celtics fan to join on thoughts on the finals, thoughts on all this. And Ronald, you can ask your question to Andrew as well, because I want to hear his perspective.
Do you want me to go first or answer the
Yes,
question first?
go talk about the finals.
Okay, the finals. Well, okay. So I don't want to be mean in front of Mavericks fans, but them boys are cooked. The Mavericks. It sucks for the West that the Mavericks beat the Timberwolves because the Timberwolves were such a better matchup to beat us in the finals. But now that Porzingis is back, I'm sorry. Okay. Luka, Kyrie, great. Top 5 backcourts ever. Number 1, you're spitting cap. That's not, we're not going there. I'm sorry. That's not happening. Clay and Curry went, what, 73 and 9? So I think the backcourt and I think closing is going to be really difficult for the Celtics, but I think if the Celtics can get a lead in the third or early fourth, I don't see the Mavericks rallying to come back because everything the Mavericks are able to do to rally against other teams in the West, the Celtics just do better than them. Their perimeter D is better than the Mavericks. Their inside offense is better than the Mavericks. Their shooting is better than the Mavericks. The Mavericks are great. I like the Mavericks. I think Luke is awesome, and I think that Kyrie is awesome, but I think that Luka's shooting splits are terrible, especially recently, and I think he's getting severely overhyped in this playoffs. I think he's playing great basketball. I think he really is, and this is not like a shade. I think he's like top 5 playoff players right now, but ESPN ranked him number 1 of the playoff players right now, and the numbers just don't stack up. I haven't been watching a lot of the Western Conference stuff. I did watch most of the Western Conference Finals, and I watched a lot of the first round when I was still at school. When I moved back, I didn't see a lot of the second round, so I can't pull up a ton of examples like I can for the Celtics in sort of situations in the East. But I think the West is a better conference, so I would have expected a better team to come out than the Mavericks. Not that I think the Mavericks aren't a really good team, but I'm sorry. We beat them twice in the regular season, and Kyrie's lost the last 11 times he's played the Celtics.
I'm going to give the floor to Morgan and Cyrus real quick because I want to hear their rebuttals to what Andrew just
Yeah, no,
threw.
please rebuttal me if I'm wrong.
This is going to be
drag me into the
great.
dirt.
Morgan, you can go first.
I just think that those were some very strong accusations that were thrown out there.
Well, I'm from Massachusetts, so
That's okay. I will give you that edge.
Oh, man.
I think that once again, I think Derek Lively and Gafford are going to be huge assets for the Mavericks in
Very
the
true.
finals here. They have definitely, the Mavericks, I think, have been tested way more than the Celtics have in the playoffs. And I think that's really going to show just how tested they have been. And I feel like they might be a little more prepared. I mean, as Jess said earlier, you know, no one expected the Mavericks to be here. The Celtics, I think everyone was like, if the Celtics don't make it there, there's really something wrong. So the Mavericks really have nothing to lose in the finals. I mean, they've been the underdog from the get-go. So anything that they do is going to be absolutely incredible. And you know, my coworker is a Celtics fan, so we, you know, all we've been doing is talking playoffs, and he's also from Boston, so it's really funny to hear his perspective and like how you know, he'll come in, oh my gosh, the Celtics are so terrible. They go on these scoring droughts that, you know, and I think that's something to tell too, because the Mavericks have been tested and come back from huge deficits, you know, the whole playoffs. So to say that, you know, if the Celtics get a huge lead that the Mavericks are going to struggle, I don't think that's necessarily true, because they've proven time and time again that they can come back from those droughts.
And the Celtics have proven they can't hold those leads all the time.
Right.
Can I add one thing before Cyprus?
Cyprus.
Who the hell is
Cyprus?
I'm
Who's
sorry.
Cyprus?
I'm sorry. I fucked it up. I'm sorry. No, I agree with all of those points. I think those points are very good and they're very true. The one thing that I think I should mention after that is the Celtics have had the easiest ride to the finals because they were the best team in the regular season. If you are the best team by far in the regular season, you have the easiest path. So I do think that the playoff battling it out, fighting more through the playoffs gives you that tougher edge, gives you that ability to come back, gives you that momentum drive when you get down 15 in the fourth. You say, you know, we've been here before. We've played teams that we weren't supposed to beat. We made it this far. Like, let's prove it that we can actually deserve to be here. And I'm not saying that the Celtics have that. Compared to the Mavericks definitely have more of that than the Celtics do. But the Celtics have been struggling to score because they're shooting poorly for sections of the game, which is very true and very statistically graphable. But a big part of the Celtics offense is that we can shoot from the three because we have such strong interior. And when our starting center was injured, our interior becomes Luke Kornet, which isn't the end of the world, but isn't Kristaps Porzingis. And when you have a fully healthy roster, you start to play back towards your strengths as a roster of starting five with rotating players. And in the Pacers game, the Pacers series, the Celtics were able to battle down in close matchups in the fourth quarter at the end of the game, push it to OT without that strong center presence. And now they have that strong center presence. And not that I think Lively isn't great, not that I think Washington isn't great, not that I think Gafford isn't great, but if you were to start a 3v3 basketball league, would you rather Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and Derek White, or Blake Lively, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford? Is what I think this series is going to come down to. And it sucks, but basketball is a 5v5 sport. So when you have a better 5 start than the other team, odds are you're able to keep that momentum, especially with the way that the Celtics bench is structured to function. That's the only thing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like come off and like go on a crazy.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So I would say I agree with all. I agree with all those points from both sides of it. But look at it from a blank slate of it. It honestly is this thing. Lively and those guys they're going to give them what they're going to get. The reason that they made those changes to the team was so that way Luka and Kyrie can have the ball in their hands without having to worry about where I'm going to pass the ball to, who's going to get it. It legitimately turned into the Sixers of 2001 in a sense where they're not worrying about the other guys having to get their touches to score, right? And the only guy that they really probably have to worry about would be like the 3-point shooters that come off the bench. That's it. Everybody else is going to get their touches when they get their touches. And that's the way it's going to break down. And where I would say I think Dallas has the edge in that case is where they have two guys that can close out the game. Not to say that Tatum and Brown haven't been there before to do it, but though Kyrie and Luka are more or better at it than they are at this point in their careers. And that's why I said at the beginning, because you were 45 minutes late, that it's comes down to the coaching. Where do you put everybody at? Where do you put everybody at in order to make that work? Right. So if Mazzulla sticks to his 5-out offense that he's been running, it's going to be stale. If he gets into some PNRs or some handoff actions, he may get some better results. But if he sticks to what he's been doing, right, he's going to be stagnant. And that's why you see Dallas runs a whole bunch of different stuff. They run PNR, handoffs. They run a whole bunch of other stuff. They don't stick to that same 5-out. When it gets down to 10 seconds, they hand the ball off to whoever it is and they let them go. That's the way they roll. So
I got a question for the room real quick. Can you guys, so we talked about your main guys. Is there anybody that you guys believe is going to need to come up big for these teams to help them win this championship? Somebody that you guys haven't mentioned yet. You guys have mentioned the Derek Whites, the Derek White's, Al Horford's, the Porzingis on the Celtics side. We talked about Lively, Gafford, and a little bit of PJ Washington on the Mavs side. Is there anybody that you guys think that like we haven't listed yet that is going to be a key for this series that can help put them over the edge?
Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to come out. He's going to have at least 2 or 3 games where he's going to make a difference. It may not be it may not be like a 20 or 30 point game, but he'll make a difference in the game.
I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say, and they're sort of opposites. I'm gonna say Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser. If Sam Hauser can shoot the ball, he will do good things. If he cannot shoot the ball, Joe Mazzulla needs to take him off the court, because when he has been on the court and not shooting effectively, he's effectively a traffic cone. And I'd rather play 5v5 basketball as opposed to 4v4. The opposite of that is Peyton Pritchard. If Peyton Pritchard can ball like he has been this playoffs, I think that gives the Celtics another leg to stand on, especially coming off the bench with a guard that's so fast, so athletic, such a dog on defense, especially for such a small frame. Not that he's going to be able to lock up and take down any super effective scorer on the Mavericks, but he's going to be able to give guys like Drew Holiday and Derek White a break when they need to sit on the bench for a second, and they know that they can trust a kid like him who can shoot. One sec, I have it pulled up. He's been shooting this playoffs. He's shooting at a 47.6% from the 3 at this playoffs run right now. And I think if he can stay in that range and be shooting just below 500, what more could you ask from a 5th man?
So I'm going to name 2. I'm going to name one for the Celtics and name one for the Mavs. For the Celtics is Pritchard. If he can come off the bench and give, Holiday 5-10 minutes of rest, 12 minutes, how many minutes he plays, and can score, I'm good with that. We just need somebody to come off that bench and be effective. And he has been that guy. For the Mavs, I'm going to throw this one out there, and it's not Hardaway. I think Hardaway had a decent series, but kind of just fell stagnant at one point. Didn't hit a shot for 3 games in a row, was kind of off. I got intrigued by Jaden Hardy for the Mavs. He came out of nowhere. I never heard of him. And he plays with this charisma and this whole essence of I don't give a shit. I'm going to shoot the ball. I'm going to get open. I'm going to do what I can do. And I love that in a player. So I think him coming off that bench, even if he's the 6th, 7th, 8th man off, he can make an effective difference. He had great games in that Timberwolves series. So those would be the guys
Last
I would
3 games
pay
he shot
attention.
over 50%
Yeah.
every time.
So I would look at those 2 guys. So I'll give it to Morgan.
I think Exum gives some clutch minutes where he doesn't it's not like he's gonna come out and really wow you, but I think he's a key role and not letting the lead get too far gone, and he will surprise you every once in a blue moon and hit like a clutch shot. So I'm really excited to see what he does if he continues playing as he has been. And Maxi Kleber came back last series and was clearly rusty, but I think he in the first round was a huge presence against the Clippers. So I'm excited to have him back and be there to give some good minutes too. So I think Exum and mine would be Exum and Kleba to see what they do.
I
Is
totally forgot about Dante
Kleba, I forgot.
Exum being on that team and Kleba too. I forgot he got hurt.
Is
Ronald, who you got?
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, so I got one for each actually. So Peyton Pritchard is the obvious one for Boston. If he just comes out and being that firecracker off the bench. Sam Hauser, it'd be great if he started shooting again, but he's had all playoffs, and we know that the rotations only get tighter and tighter and tighter, especially in the finals. And so at this point, I don't know how much trust Mazzulla will have in them to keep him in there. But if he starts shooting like his regular season self, then even better. But I'm more so looking at Pritchard here to give us some spark off the bench. Maxi has been my big one here for Dallas because again, going back to how are the bigs going to defend? What Boston does amazingly better than anyone is spacing the floor. That's what allows them to create so many three-point opportunities. Not just that, but the drive, kick action, swing it out, then the second action after that. And when they get out of rotation, how do the bigs respond? Is Lively ready for the finals moment? He's been great, living up to it. The finals are different. Gafford, I'm wondering about his feet. Can he defend the 5 out? Can he move around there as quickly? Does he become a liability? And that's when Maxi comes in to give that more flexibility that can defend the 5 out better. And so that's where I'm like, I have no idea because those bigs really make a difference there in that penetration because that rim protection is wild. And so it's going to create more action in the high post there than the drive. So those are my two names, Pritchard and Maxi. The bigs for Dallas very much intrigue me here. And I think will dictate a lot.
Yeah, shout out to them because fun fact that I found out is former NBA champ with the Mavs, Tyson Chandler, has been working with Lively and Gafford, which is why it makes sense why they've been making such a great impact down low. Because who better to learn from the person who brought you the title, which I believe they signed him. If the title is called Legends Specialist Assistant, which I think is a hell of a name because I wouldn't know if I would call him Tyson Chandler a legend, but I guess I would because he won a title with the Mavs. But hey, super cool name. Rock it out.
All right, guys. So we have a couple minutes left. We're gonna go through. Everyone get your predictions. I know this is gonna be fun. We're not predictions for game one, but who wins the series, how many games, all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna start off with the only person, well, one of the two people that have no skin in the game, truly, is Kevin. So, Kevin.
Hi. Yeah.
And you're also wearing a Dallas Mavericks jersey now.
Yeah, I was gonna hope nobody was gonna pay attention to that.
I saw that. I asked him why he was off screen. He's like, "You'll find out."
I thought about it, and I thought about it. I mean, I personally think this is the Celtics series to lose, but Cyrus talked about earlier, talking about closing games, and there is nobody that's better right now at closing games than Kyrie Irving, and then this guy, number 77. So if the Celtics run, I'm going Mavs in 7, and that means we are going to have another 2-week hiatus if this podcast happens, and that happens because I don't know if Merritt will be able to handle me guessing right on this. Maybe I'm wrong, but if we're gonna go Mavs in 7, Cyrus just said I made a Tim Tebow take right now, but you know what, Cyrus? We'll have it out on another episode because we gotta watch the finals. Next guest.
All right, Cyrus, your turn.
I'm going to go with Boston in 7. Listen, you just Boston in 7. And Morgan, I'm sorry, Kevin just jinxed your team just like Greenberg does every day. So sorry.
There we go. All right. Ronald.
Such, like this is all the conversation I've had all week for the last 10 days has just been what the hell's going to happen here. So you can't imagine I'm going to say anything other than Boston here because flat out, Luka, best player in the series. I will give you that, and that's always going to be dangerous. And so he terrifies me. I will be straight up about that from top to bottom. I think Boston has a better roster, better talent, some better execution. And because I got the hopeful in me, but I'm trying to be realistic about here, and so I'm gonna go Boston in 6.
Okay. Drew, as you're
Okay.
eating your burger,
No, I'm eating
hopefully it's a
fries
good
now. I
burger.
finished the burger. It was all right. Okay, so I'm not gonna elaborate super long, but I think, Mary, you probably know what I want to say, like get just straight up. But I'm gonna be polite. I'll say Celtics in 6, and one of them's gonna be real bad. Like it's not gonna look good. But like I said when I got on, them boys are cooked. I'm sorry, you're not gonna be able to convince me any other way. They're not. You cannot come into TD Garden for at minimum 2 games and get booed every single time you're on the court and do especially well. Like I can't imagine it happens. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say Boston in 6.
Wow. Andrew's just going for
No,
the
bro, I've been
jugular
having
tonight.
this conversation all damn week, dude. All week. I haven't heard one good argument besides Blake Lively. And I'm just like, all right, like
Blake Lively.
Lively? What are you
Who's that?
What's
Oh my goodness.
I'm confused now. All right, Morgan.
Derek
Derek Lively, man. Derek
Wow.
Lively.
I didn't know Blake
I'm
Lively had played for
exhausted.
the Mavs. That's awesome. Good for her.
I meant Derek. I didn't mean to shit on the man. He's great. I think he's
Okay.
actually he's a lot better than I thought he was. I watched the Timberwolves series and he was balling. So I don't mean
So
any disrespect. Slip of the tongue.
That's all right. I think much like your burger that took 45 minutes, that Boston's going to be well done this series, and I'm going with a 4-2 Mavs taking it all. I think that one of the things that the Mavericks have had going for them more so than any other team that they faced is their chemistry is just unmatched right now. You know, you hear the rumors flying of some beef going on in Boston, although Mazzulla says that's not true, but we'll see. I don't know. I just think that the Mavericks have meshed really well. Derek Lively's story is something that's propelling his game right now, and my heart just breaks for that guy just thinking about all he's been through this season, and I can't imagine. So we know that he's just leaving it all out there, and I think that Luka and Kyrie have, like everyone is shocked by, I am too, that they have meshed very well, and I think their chemistry is what's going to propel them more so than anything. So I'm going with 4-2 Mavs and Luka with a triple double in Game 6.
Ooh, okay. Triple double in Game 6 for Luka.
Hey,
So it's a
I just
seal.
I'll jump on that. If they win in 6,
did-
Luka will drop a triple double in Game 6. That's gonna happen.
I'm going to say this though: the NBA has a plan for everything. They haven't had a 7-game series, and the last 7-game series they had was in the first round, right? They haven't had one since. I can almost guarantee you it's either going to 6 or 7 games, no matter
Does
who.
anyone have a copy of the script?
No,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
lost it. I lost it. I'm sorry.
Scott
I was wondering
Foster's
about
on the officiating crew, so then it's definitely going 7 games.
Oh, wait, you see Tony Brothers on there too, right?
Yeah,
So Tony
Tony Brothers is on
definitely-
there.
I saw those 2 names.
How do we let these two still ref?
Hey, we don't complain about Scott.
I hate both
You know
of them.
that.
I hate
You
both
know
of them.
that. No, you don't. No,
I do.
as
I
Celtics
think
fans,
that-
we don't.
I think they
No,
are
it's not
both
possible.
atrocious.
We win like 78% of
I
the
don't
time
ca-
that he's
I
on
know
the
we do,
court.
but I still think they're atrocious.
He's wearing a green shirt under that striped vest. And I
Good
don't
for
care.
him.
I don't care.
So I want to throw my prediction out there before we all just start jumping off the bandwagons and running around all over the place now. I'm gonna go with what Morgan said though, like the chemistry and all this stuff, right? Boston in 6 is my opinion. They're gonna, no offense, beat the living shit out of the Mavs in Game 6 in Dallas. You
Ooh,
said, Morgan, you brought up a
book
point.
that. Book that if that happens. I gotta. That's. I'm
I-
taking.
You,
notes.
you can. You can take her
Next.
clip, my clip, all those. You can
Yeah,
take both
it's gonna
of
be
them.
Take
Those
my
are-
clip.
and I'll
Put
put
me
the
on Instagram, I
highlight.
don't care.
I'll put a highlight of it. But like
So,
the game-winning shot. I got it.
so
It's already.
the biggest thing to me is everyone's like, oh, Boston had the easiest walk in. Andrew said it. We were the best team in the NBA. You get the
Yeah.
easiest walk. That's what you get at that point in time. The Mavs, they have fought every tooth and nail to get to where they are. I'm pumped it's going to be that kind of series. I think the chemistry between two players is phenomenal on the Mavs. Is it great with everybody? Maybe, maybe not. But everyone's pointing at, hey, they fought through their series. They did these things. Like, yeah, good for you. You beat teams that were younger, that had no experience. Celtics had to do the same thing. We beat teams that had very little experience in the playoffs. But in that Indiana series, we had to come back 3 out of the 4 victories that we got. And they were lucky as hell. I'll admit it as a Celtics fan. We shouldn't have won that series the way we played. But they showed up when it counted. You know, those, was it game 5, game 4, whatever it was, game 3. They stopped Indiana for 7 or 8 straight minutes, block after block, defensive rebounds, all these things. I think that's what, if that team shows up, that same team, that same grit, you're going to piss Kyrie off. Luka's going to get annoyed real quick.
Oh, he's a
Especially-
crybaby. He's gonna cry to the refs.
Especially because guess
I
who's
mean,
going to
I'm
be on
not
him?
saying that as a shit take or anything. We
He
all
does.
know that.
But here's the thing. We know that Drew Holiday is going to guard Irving. That's the matchup we're going to watch. We're also going to get another all defensive player in Derek White locking up Luka. Okay. And best part for the Celtics, everyone on that team can switch on the defensive side. They can all guard each position to a T. You know, I'm not going to trust Porzingis on Kyrie as much as I'm going to trust Drew Holiday on Kyrie, but they all can switch. Dallas, they can't. You switch to get Derek Lively on Jason Tatum, Tatum's going to eat him up. Gafford goes to Drew Holiday, going to eat you up. And that's the things like Cyrus and Kevin have all mentioned. It's that coaching stuff that's going to take the cake. How can we exploit the weaknesses to this other team? I think Missoula has finally figured that out and how to do it. And I think Boston in 6, in my opinion. And like I said, beating the living shit out of Dallas at home in game 6. That's my prediction. Even though I will throw this out there, I do think Luka will win the finals MVP because I think everyone just loves him, the story. And no matter what, even if Tatum drops a triple-double tonight, everyone in the media is going to say he sucked. He was horrible, should have played better, all this. So it's already written in stone that Luka's going to take that part.
You're saying for the first time in like 30 years that a losing team is going to get the finals MVP.
Yeah.
It's
Over
been more than
Tatum,
30.
everything.
Kev, it's been more than 30 years. It's been more than 30 years.
It's been more.
Well,
but
that was a roughly answer, but you think that Luka's going to get MVP for the
at
finals
this
MVP
point,
after losing?
100% because of how the
can see
media
it.
is portraying everything.
Happened in
Yes.
1969 last time.
1969 was the last time. None
Yeah,
of
the
us
logo.
We're
even
going
thought
logo
of
won
it.
it.
50.
But it
What,
happened to
55
us
years?
last time too. We won
Yeah.
in 69 and Jerry West won MVP.
Shout
Say,
out to Jerry.
there we go.
The
Yeah,
logo.
shout out the logo.
So-
The one thing that I haven't heard anybody mention, not to like tag any more on at the end, is not the entire Celtics team, but 2 out of the 5 starters were in the finals 2 years ago. And Kyrie has been there before, but there has to be an element of, okay, like this, like we have to get it done this time. Like they lost to a semi-washed old aging Warriors team. And I'm not even gonna go into who's better, Luka or Tatum. Like that's, in my opinion, purely a subjective discussion. What are you looking for in a basketball player? But if you have 2 guys that have made the finals before versus guys that Kyrie has, obviously he's a champion. But 2 years ago, to not make it, to lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, to be back there the next year, that's gotta be motivation that
Also,
Mavericks don't have. That's a different type of motivation than a we've battled this far sort of
What-
conversation.
Well,
Also, wait, hold
say
on.
this-
we're also going to play for Bill Walton. I'm sorry.
Bill Walton.
Right there. That's it. That's going to get us
Yeah.
over the hump. Bill Walton right there.
Oh yeah, the dude. That Merritt's guy. If Merritt guys plays, that's yeah.
Gotta love me some Billy Walton. But guys,
I will
Cyrus,
say this though, just
real quick.
yeah. So I was gonna say, it would just from what you're saying right now, right? It's the same thing with Dallas because honestly, they can't keep the same team they have. They won't be able to keep their bench of role players that they have. So a lot of those guys are going to be gone. So this is another reason for them to try to win it for what they have now. Because next go around, they may not have this same setup again. So they may be in the same boat.
Beautiful. All right. So guys, that was the time, including my 10-minute buffer we gave us, because I knew I prepared that we were gonna go over.
I love it, Kevin. I appreciate
But
that.
so first off, I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. This was fun. I feel the power. I think it's going to be a great series. I'm just excited for NBA Finals to be rocking out tonight. I will outro us out. Or Mayor, do you have anything else you guys say before? Oh wait, filibuster's question, real quick.
While you look up your question, I'm going to say
Yes,
thank you.
go ahead. I already
everyone
have
that-
it.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. This has been a blast. Andrew, thanks for finally joining 45 minutes late.
Apologies to everybody for being late. Thank you for allowing
Per
me
usual.
to absolutely jump in at the last minute.
But Morgan, thank you for dealing with all the Celtics nonsense tonight. And giving it right back to us, especially to Kevin. That was phenomenal. Best burn I've heard in a
Bro, that burger comeback, that was nice.
Oh,
Props for
you
that.
missed it.
Props for that.
You missed a better
I
one
missed something.
earlier.
Oh, I'm gonna be watching this later when I have to edit it back. So
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
see you
thank
then.
you guys. Seriously. We'll definitely do something after the finals. Maybe we can do a recap episode with everybody again, just to walk through, maybe give someone a tissue if they're crying. Virtually, I don't know, but that's what we can do. But Kevin, give us that question and get us out of here.
Real quick, for everyone that's here, you guys know you follow the Filibuxers, your Filipino Star Buxers. This week's question: what is your favorite scent? Whoever would like to go first.
Question.
Vanilla.
Yes, sir.
Oh, smell.
Scent.
okay.
Yes.
I was like coins. I like lemongrass.
Okay, lemongrass.
Excuse me.
Okay.
It's nice.
You're weird.
What? What?
You're weird as hell, bro.
Lemongrass and sage. If you've never had the Yankee Candle, it's amazing.
I'm shocked you didn't
It's what
say
my
weed.
house
I thought you were
smells
gonna
like.
smell like
I mean,
say weed,
okay,
but
I like that one too, but I thought we were keeping it PG. We have
Yeah.
a kitty.
nah, he can't
I-
understand how the things we're saying.
I didn't even hear anyone else. So I heard lemongrass
He's
from
probably,
Andrew.
he's probably the
What?
coolest kid here. He's probably the coolest person on this thing. Leave Owen alone. He's probably
Probably.
the coolest person on here.
What
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
hear anybody else's. I heard Andrew's lemongrass and everybody went crazy.
I said vanilla.
Vanilla, okay.
Just
I
Plain vanilla.
love the smell of clean laundry, so linen,
Ooh, love
fresh
that.
linen.
There you
fresh
go.
cut grass too. Sorry, I got to throw that in there.
Okay.
That's a great smell.
Nice. Cyrus Morgan.
A good sugar cookie candle. Just
Ooh,
really smell the house good.
Okay. Cyrus.
New car smell. New car smell, baby. New
Yes,
smell.
yes.
When was the last
I
time you smelled
said
that?
on mine.
Huh?
When was the last time you smelled that?
Dang.
The last time I went and got that little tree at the
Oh,
tree at
my
the store. That's the new car scent. There you go.
Yeah. So I got my two. I had new car smell, and then I had new sneaker smell because I do love
Mm.
a pair
I knew that up
like
your
the
alley.
sneak kicks. And then shout out to Joss. His was Fabuloso and like sauteed garlic were his favorite.
Ooh.
So
I
Okay.
like that
That
dark
was- that
green
was
little
pretty
tree, the one that smells like
fabuloso.
pine. That one's
Yes.
nice too.
good times. All right, well, that's your filibuster's question of the week that we had. So outro time again. Thank you for packing out the Zoom room today. I knew I could trust the finest basketball expertise that I know, from Morgan and Ronald, throwing it back to our days at the WV Rec Center. You know, me and Ronald talked, Morgan, you were the only person that I know will take a full-on charge in a pickup game and own it like a champ. So shout out to you, and shout out to Jess also for hopping on. Shout out to Cyrus and Andrew. Andrew, we're gonna need to get you on again, just because
Yeah.
we missed you, man, because it's been so
I
long.
can't do next Wednesday, but I could do next Thursday.
Good. We're
All right,
recording
well,
Thursday.
We're recording Thursday, so it works out perfectly. So we'll get the guys back. And then, so here we go. So if you want to watch this craziness, you can follow us on our YouTube at the Mainly Musings Podcast. You can hear us and listen to us on all streaming platforms. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. No longer Google Play because it doesn't exist. But go ahead and hear us on Amazon Play instead. You can follow us on the Instagram at the Mainly Musings Pod. Follow Merritt's Instagram, Merritt_P. Follow me at KQuava624. Make sure you go ahead and take a look at the TikTok as well, where we feature the Filibusters, your Filipino Star Bucksters, and our episode recaps, along with Are We Out Here's, and that is at the Mainly Musings Pod. And then, yeah, it's 8:20. We got 10 minutes till game time. We will see you guys soon. Peace, y'all.
Peace out.